On October 30th, 1942, in the gas chamber of Central Prison in Raleigh, North Carolina, David Herman Allen, murderer in one of the state's most notorious triple homicides, left behind his final words: "I am ready to go. I do not dread it. There is a better world for me. I have had a sad life, but that is over now. I have experienced God in my soul. I am glad to leave this world of sin." Obviously, this was no deathbed confession. If anything, it read more like a declaration of self-absolution, mistaking execution for some kind of spiritual salvation. And in that gas chamber, through 10 minutes and 20 seconds of suffocation, one thing was certain. Right up to the very end, the man showed neither fear nor remorse. Allen was born on November 18, 1905 in Benson, Johnston County, North Carolina, back when the town was still a vital railroad hub and the heart of tobacco country. He spent his childhood on the flat, monotonous plains of Benson, where cotton and tobacco fields stretched as far as the eye could see. He grew up with his sister Vida and brother John, under the care of William and Sarah Allen, two ordinary farmers just trying to get by. But when Allen was 8, that fragile peace shattered. William died, abruptly leaving Sarah to raise the children alone. In order to keep the family afloat, Sarah moved with the kids to nearby Banner Township, where she farmed and took odd jobs to survive. With William gone, their finances collapsed. Allen barely scraped through the local rural public school. Reading and arithmetic remained a struggle for him. As an adult, Allen became a withdrawn, tight-lipped young man. Unlike other youths who dreamed of escaping to the cities, he stayed put in Benson, surviving on casual labor. Apart from helping his mother with the farm, he never really held down any other kind of work. In the late 1920s, Allen married his first wife. The town records never bothered to keep her name, just some local girl around his age. They settled into a modest wooden cabin and had a child together. At first, their life was simple enough. Allen and his wife both worked at the local lumberyard. But then 1929 hit, and the family's finances collapsed along with everything else. In order to make ends meet, Allen and his wife decided to take in a boarder, 50-year-old Handy, who moved into their back room. Handy worked at a local grocery store. It started as a straightforward arrangement. The old man got a roof over his head, the young couple got some extra cash. But things took a turn nobody saw coming. Most days, especially after the baby arrived, Allen was the one working the lumberyard while his wife stayed home with the child. Yet whenever Allen came back, he'd find 50-year-old Handy sitting with his wife, poring over Bible passages, even teaching her how to use a typewriter, hand over hand. At first, Allen didn't think much of it, but once he realized Handy was spending more time with his wife than he himself ever could, he started seeing things differently. Those conversations, those little domestic scenes, they started replaying in his head over and over until finally Allen and his wife exploded into argument, the whispers escalating to slammed doors and shattered dishes. Once trust broke, every detail of daily life becomes evidence of betrayal. On the night of August 6, 1930, Allen was jolted awake by the baby's crying and found his wife's side of the bed empty. He rushed outside to search for her, and there it was. His wife lying in Handy's bed, her fingers tracing circles on the old man's chest. Allen didn't action immediately. He just walked back to his own bed, stared at the ceiling, and waited. When his wife finally slipped back beside him, he confronted her. When she admitted everything, Allen's rage found its target. He went to a neighbor's house and borrowed a double-barreled shotgun. Then he walked into Handy's room, raised the weapon, and demanded to know if the old man had slept with his wife. When Handy's trembling voice confirmed it, Allen's fury turned to action. He fired. Despite Handy's desperate pleas for mercy, Allen killed him. After killing Handy, Allen didn't run. He went straight to the work office first, told his colleagues to send a doctor to his house to try and save the man. Then he walked himself over to a deputy sheriff's home and confessed everything. In the county jail, when the sheriffs asked him why he'd done it, Allen explained it calmly enough. Handy's affair with his wife had made him angry, and he'd pulled the trigger. The court later convicted him of manslaughter, 20 years in prison. But here's the thing. Allen only served 4 of those years before walking free, back to Benson around 1934. His first marriage ended in divorce, and that second marriage, the one that led to the famous triple murder, fell apart for the same reason. From a psychological angle, Allen probably wasn't naturally the jealous type, but that first marriage betrayal had left him with a kind of infidelity trauma, a wound that never properly healed. Back in Benson, Allen remarried, this time to Ruth, 26 years old. For a few years, the family lived in relative peace, but economic pressure eventually forced Allen and Ruth into a separation, each moving back in with their own families. Distance, as it turned out, didn't build trust, it only fed his jealousy. Before long, Allen started suspecting Ruth of sleeping with their neighbor, William. Whether there was any real evidence for this, or whether it was just 1930 playing out all over again in his damaged mind, nobody can say for certain. January 14th, 1942, Wednesday. Benson, North Carolina, a sleepy southern town about 35 miles from Raleigh. At 1 in the morning, Allen, Ruth, Leon, and Letty drove up to Bill's filling station in town. The place was closed, then Allen got out to rouse the owner, he wanting cigarettes and something cold to drink. At that time, Allen was thoroughly drunk. But as he stepped out of the car, the others made a decision that would change everything. They left him there alone and drove off. Around 2:30 a.m., Leon and Letty dropped Ruth at her mother's house. Meanwhile, the drunk and abandoned Allen found himself alone in the dark at a closed gas station. He didn't wait around, just walked 7 miles back to his mother's house. There, he tried to borrow his brother's car to chase after Ruth, but got turned down. So instead, he grabbed his brother's 16-gauge shotgun and nearly a full box of shells. Around 3 in the morning, Allen arrived at William's place, just 500 yards from his mother's house, the man he'd suspected for years of sleeping with his wife. Allen knocked on the door and William, completely unsuspecting, stepped out onto the porch. Allen fired, reloaded, and fired again, and then he left William's body on the front porch and kept walking, his next target being his mother-in-law Claudia's house. 6 in the morning, still dark. Claudia, her son Grady, Ruth, and Ruth's 10-year-old son from her previous marriage, Rufus, were getting ready to start their day. Allen came straight to the door, pounding and demanding entry. Grady was sitting in the kitchen eating breakfast. He called through the door asking what Allen wanted, but Allen simply walked around to the kitchen window and fired through the glass, hitting Grady in the head. Hearing the shot, Claudia threw open the door and ran for her life. Then Allen barged inside, dragged Ruth out of bed, and stepped right past Grady, who lay there bleeding out. Ruth tried to fight back, ran to the smokehouse. Allen didn't chase her immediately. First he took a shot at Rufus. When he missed, he caught Ruth again, dragged her into the barn and put a bullet in the back of her head. After the killing, Allen drove Grady's car back to his mother's house, threw some clothes into a suitcase, and planned to flee to Elizabeth City. But his luck ran out fast. A tire blew, forcing him to stop at a familiar house along the way. There, seeing Allen shaking with nerves and blood on the car, the friend did the sensible thing and called the police. That's where they caught him. In February 1942, the Johnston County Superior Court opened the trial of the Allen case. The prosecution charged him with the murder of Grady, while also bringing in the killings of Ruth and William to establish the full foundation of a triple homicide. The defense team, for their part, pinned everything on temporary insanity, their core strategy being to attribute Allen's actions to extreme jealousy triggered by his wife's infidelity. On February 12th, Allen took the stand himself, testifying that Ruth had admitted to an affair with William earlier that day, a revelation that had, in his words, nearly driven him mad with uncontrollable rage. On February 16th, after closing arguments, the jury deliberated for an hour and 45 minutes before returning a verdict of guilty of first-degree murder, and the judge sentenced him to death in the gas chamber at Raleigh's Central Prison. On October 30th, 1942, at 10 in the morning, inside the gas chamber, Allen faced the witnesses and delivered his final, calm words. "I am ready to go. I do not dread it. There is a better world for me. I have had a sad life, but that is over now. I have experienced God in my soul. I am glad to leave this world of sin. 10 minutes and 20 seconds after the gas was released, Allen died. There was no fear in his final words, no remorse, only a strange spiritual comfort, as if he wasn't going to die, but going to a better place.